Hey guys, welcome back. So right now I'm sitting on my floor. That could really only mean one thing. We are about to go through this little baby over here and we're gonna do some decluttering. So let me just pretend like there isn't a mountain of clothes in the background. Just gonna push everything to the side and pretend that that is not there. For my declutter today, I really wanted to tackle my blushes. So what I'm gonna do is I'm basically just going to like go through everything. I'll give you guys mini reviews on some of the products and let you know why I'm keeping it and why I'm not keeping it if I decide to get rid of it. So this is the drawer over here that houses all of my blushes, bronzers, and highlighters. This little bin right over here has a mix of everything. This is just highlighters. This bin in back here is also a little bit of a mix. Back here are my bronzers. This is bronzer contour palettes, I believe, and then these are blushes. So hopefully by the end of the video, this will be way more organized and I'm gonna be condensing it quite a bit. Okay, so first starting off with some box blushes from Benefit. I've got Havana, California, and Gold Rush. So I am going to be getting rid of the Gold Rush blush. I feel like this is a blush that really nobody ever spoke about. I can't remember anybody ever talking about this product. It's really not my favorite Benefit blush. It has like this really weird like gold foiling on top of it, which just made it really unflattering for the first few uses because it does end up like fading away, but when it's there, it just creates like a lot of gold sparkle on the cheeks, and it's not my favorite blush. I feel like it doesn't give a lot of color, it just gives a lot of shine and sparkle, which could be nice, but I have other blushes that I feel like do it better, so I'm gonna get rid of that one. I'm also gonna get rid of Havana. I literally never, ever take this blush out. It is a really pretty one. It's completely matte. It ends up being like a nice like cool tone pink when you mix everything together, but it's just not a blush that I really ever reach for, and I don't love cool tone pink blushes either. I don't find them to be the most flattering for me, so I'm gonna get rid of that one as well. I'm also gonna get rid of the California. This one has never been used, so it's a great opportunity for me to donate it. Again, just not one of my favorite blushes. I feel like I used to be so much more into Benefit blushes. I just thought that they were so fun because of the packaging, and they were always blushes that I was the most drawn towards, but I don't know, I don't remember the last time I used a Benefit blush, which is so strange. I'm just really like realizing that now. Oh my goodness, I have so many of these NARS blushes that I've been collecting over the years, and I really feel like a whole lot of these I could probably get rid of because I definitely do not use them all. First off, we got Orgasm. I actually just mentioned that Orgasm is not really my favorite blush. I feel like the gold shimmer in Orgasm can sometimes be a little bit unflattering. It really emphasizes texture for me. Orgasm was always like a cult favorite blush, which is why I've kept it for such a long time, but you know, like I literally never pick it up anymore, so I just don't think it's worth keeping. And this is actually one of the original ones that I've ever had, so it's really old. So time for me to throw this one out. Next up, we have a blush from the Man Ray and NARS collection. This is in the shade Intensely. I've actually never used this one. This is like a bright orange shade. This is not a color that would really suit my skin tone, and again, it's not used, so I'm gonna actually give this one away. I feel like I'm gonna be savage for this declutter. I'm being really harsh, but that's not such a bad thing. Okay, next up I have the NARS Amour blush. This one is actually so pretty. It's a pretty unique color. It's sort of like a, I don't know, like a raspberry, but a wearable raspberry. This is a really beautiful blush. I feel like I don't ever reach for this, but not because I don't like it, just because I sort of forgot about it, honestly. But I am gonna keep this. It's a really pretty blush. It actually sort of matches my nails quite a bit as well. I sort of wish the NARS packaging made it easier for you to actually see the colors of the product, because I feel like it would sort of influence me to want to use them a little bit more. Okay, next up I have the shade Blissful, which is this like really intense dark purple shimmery shade. This is definitely a color that's way more suited for a deeper skin tone. This is not a color that would really suit me whatsoever. I've actually never used this one, so I'm gonna give it away. Then we have Torrid. Oh my god, this was a favorite of mine for such a long time. This is a beautiful like coral peach blush with gold shimmer in it. I almost feel like it's a better version of NARS Orgasm because the gold isn't as intense. I'm totally keeping this one. It's so pretty. This one over here is Madly. I remember buying this because I forget what YouTuber was raving about it, but there was somebody who would always talk about this blush, and they would say how boring it looks in the pan but how beautiful it is on the cheeks, and it's true. It's a really boring blush in the pan. It's just sort of like a neutral brownish nude, but on the cheek it sort of just gives like a bronzy blush look, and it's really, really pretty. So I am gonna keep this one because it's a nice one to have. Next up, I've got another Orgasm blush. I'm gonna get rid of this one as well. I don't know why I have like several Orgasm blushes in my collection. It's so strange. Lastly, I have Sin. I am actually going to get rid of this one, not because I don't like it, just because it's really, really old. This is at least 7 years old. That's gross. Next up, I have all of my Too Faced Love Flush blushes. I'm gonna be keeping all of these, every single one of these colors, because these are some of my favorite blushes. There was a time where these were literally the only blushes that I would use. The shade Baby Love was like my ultimate favorite. What? You guys, there's mold on the blush. That has never happened to me before. I have never had a makeup product grow mold. Oh my God, that is disgusting. Do you guys see that? Oh my God. Oh my God. That just goes to show I have not used it in a really long time. There was a point where this was like the only blush that I would put on. There's no way that I'm keeping this. This obviously needs to be thrown out. That is so gross. Wow. Okay. This one's not moldy. This one is starting to get like a little bit of a weird film, so I'm gonna get rid of it. That one's Love Hangover. Oh my God, no, it's such a pretty shade too. This one's fine. This is How Deep Is Your Love. This one's newer, which is probably why it's fine. And this one's I Will Always Love You, which is fine. Ugh. Oh, I love these so much. Okay, these are the Clinique Cheek Pop blushes. I have Pink Pop and Peach Pop over here. These I feel like are so underrated. I really love how compact and small they are. They're really great for travel, and the colors are really beautiful. Really beautiful. So I am going to be keeping both of these. Okay, so next up I have these 3 Ophir blushes. We've got Punch, which is this one over here. This one is Bellini, and then we've got Mai Tai. So I am actually just going to be keeping the shade Bellini. This was actually a favorite of mine for a while. I sort of go through phases when it comes to blushes. I will wear like the same 2 every single day, and this was one of those for a while, so I do really like it. I am going to be keeping it. Both of these are also really pretty. There's nothing wrong with them. I just don't feel like I ever reach for them, and like I said, I'm trying to be cutthroat here. I'm really trying to get rid of the makeup that I don't use a ton, just so that I could free up some space in my collection. I think some of my friends will get better use out of it, so I'm gonna get rid of that. So most of my MAC blushes are depotted, but I do have 3 over here which I still have in their little casings. This one over here is Lovejoy. It's a really pretty blush. If you have more of like a medium and deep skin tone, this is a really beautiful blush. It sort of just gives your cheeks like a really stunning glow. It's almost like a plum with like a golden sheen. It's very pretty, but I never use it, and it's very old, so I'm actually going to get rid of this one. This one over here is actually one of my favorites. This is Modern Mandarin. This is a really fun color. It's just like a matte peachy orange shade, and it's really nice, especially when you do have a little bit of a tan. I feel like it's just super flattering, and it's a really unique color, so I am going to keep that one as well. And then we have Mocha, which is a really beautiful like plummy blush. I feel like this is such a pretty color, especially for the fall time. I really like this. It's completely matte as well. So one of my favorite blush formulas are the Wet n Wild Color Icon blushes. I think that they're so great. They're also very inexpensive. I actually am going to keep all 3 of the shades that I have here. This one over here is in the shade Rosé Champagne. It's one of those like really boring blushes in the pan, but looks amazing on the cheeks. This one over here is in the shade Pearlescent Pink, which is a pearlescent pink basically. And then this one is Mellow Wine, which is odd because this is not a wine color at all. It's definitely a coral. I'm actually going to get rid of both of these NYX blushes. I just really never reach for these ever, and the colors don't really excite me, to be honest with you. They're both also very similar to one another. This one over here is Bright Lights, and then this one is Coraline. They're pretty, just like nothing super special. Then I have these Maybelline Fit Me blushes. Not my ultimate favorite blush formula from the drugstore, and like I said, I'm gonna be really picky, so I'm gonna be getting rid of both of these. Next up, I have this shade from Revlon. This is actually a gorgeous blush shade. It's in the shade Naughty Nude, and it's a beautiful color. I'm gonna be keeping this one. These 2 formulas are probably my ultimate favorite formulas from the drugstore for blushes. These, I really feel like they're almost tied for the #1 slot. The Essence Satin Touch blushes are by far some of the best blushes from the drugstore, and also probably the most affordable. Essence is a extremely affordable brand, and their products are always like just so good. They always just like blow my mind, especially considering the price point. I always find them to be very, very impressive. I do feel like it's hard, especially from the drugstore, to find matte blushes that aren't chalky and that aren't too powdery, and these are like the complete opposite of that. They're so creamy and they apply beautifully on the skin, and they last a really nice amount of time as well. This shade over here is number 20 Satin Love, and then this one is Satin Coral. Then we have Flower Beauty blushes. This is more of like a newer find for me. I just recently discovered my love for Flower Beauty blushes. I really find them to be some of the most like gorgeous blushes. The formula is amazing, so I'm definitely going to be keeping both of them. This one over here is Peach Primrose, and we have Warm Hibiscus right over here. Peach Primrose is my personal favorite. It's really, really nice. And I also have another Flower Beauty blush here. This one is in the shade Sweet Pea. It's a really pretty like mauvey pink. Next up, we have some Tarte blushes over here. Let's go through them. I feel like they're all pretty similar to one another. Okay, so all these blushes are from their nude collection. So they are all shades of nude, and as you guys probably see, they are all very similar to one another. So there's really no reason for me to keep every single one of them. So I am only going to keep a few. So I'm gonna get rid of the shade Exposed. The pink is just a little bit too like blech for me. This one is actually one of my favorites. I used to mention this one all the time. It's in the shade Sensual. It's another really beautiful nude blush. Totally keeping that one. And I feel like these two are very, very similar to one another. We've got Risque and Seduce. I'm going to keep Risque. I feel like the color is a little bit like, not deeper, but it has a little bit more like warmth to it, and I feel like it's just, it has something a little bit extra to it that Seduce doesn't have. So I'm gonna get rid of Seduce, and I'm going to keep Risque. All right, next up, we've got some Urban Decay blushes over here. So the first one over here is Score, and this is just another one of those like peachy pink blushes with gold shimmer. I have so many of these, I don't need another one, so I'm going to get rid of it. This shade over here is Fetish, and then we have Indecent, which is more of a peach. Honestly, I'm gonna get rid of both of these. I'm sort of realizing that I really never reach for them. I feel like I'm keeping other blushes that literally look exactly like this. It's just not necessary, and I don't feel like the formula is that like completely different than everything else that I'm keeping that I feel the need to keep it. So I'm gonna get rid of both of them, but the packaging is so pretty, which sort of makes me want to keep it, but I'm not gonna do it. These are pretty new in my collection, and I am gonna be keeping both of them. They're the new L'Oreal Paradise Enchanted Scented blushes. I actually just mentioned them in my favorites, so I obviously really like them, and I am gonna be keeping them because I think they're really beautiful and they smell delicious. So this one over here is in the shade 191 Fantastical, and then we have Bashful. Yeah, Bashful is the lighter peach, and I actually really like layering both of these. They're really pretty, sort of like with this all over the cheek and then this right on the apple. It sort of gives a really nice dimensional blush look, so I'm going to be keeping both of them. So now let's talk about some luxe blushes that I have here. First up, we have this Natasha Denona Duo Glow blush, and this one is in the shade number 2 Rayo. This is actually such a pretty blush. This is basically like a blush highlighter. So you put it on your cheeks and it will just make your cheeks glow. I have used this very few times. I feel like now that I'm condensing my collection, I'm actually remembered to try out blushes that I haven't used or haven't used in a really long time. So I am actually gonna keep this one. I like that highlighted blush look. Ooh, so good. Okay, this is something I'm going to get rid of. I'm actually gonna donate it because I've never used it. It's the Armani Cheek Fabric Sheer Blush in the shade Daybreak, and it's basically just like a mauvey pink, really nothing too special. Again, I'm gonna donate it. This Tom Ford blush is so nice, and I'm not getting rid of it. I very rarely want to get rid of Tom Ford products just because they cost an arm and a leg, and it just kills me to like throw out my money like that, quite literally. But this blush truly is like so beautiful. It lived in my everyday vanity for quite a while actually. It's the shade Love Lust, and it's just like the most pretty like peachy color with like gold shift in it. It's so nice, so I'm definitely gonna be keeping this one. It's a really pretty blush. This Bobbi Brown blush in the shade Sand Pink is another one I'm gonna get rid of. I obviously don't really love these colors. I feel like I've gotten rid of a lot of these like mauvey purpley colors, so I'm gonna get rid of that one. Then I have two of these Hourglass blushes that are so beautiful, and I'm gonna be keeping both of them. I mean, the Hourglass blushes are stunning. The formula is just everything. All of the Hourglass powder products really are special. They are just so finely milled. They sit on the skin so nicely. I feel like they're all just like classy lady, sophisticated products, and they're just so beautiful. So I'm gonna be keeping it. So I have a bunch of products here that I know I'm gonna be getting rid of. So I've got the Too Faced Sweetheart Perfect Flush Blush in the shade Peach Beach. This was actually a favorite of mine for a while. I just haven't used it in a long time, and honestly, it's so bulky. It takes up so much room in my drawer. just not worth me keeping really. Next I have this discontinued blush from Kat Von D in the shade Wish. I don't love keeping discontinued products, especially because YouTube is my job. I don't like talking about things that you guys aren't able to get your hands on. And I also have had this for way too long and I just never use it. So this is actually gonna go in the trash. I have this like really random blush from Pure. This is the Marble Powder Pink Blush. Fun fact, this is one of the first blushes I ever used. Not this one exactly, like not this exact compact, but when I first started doing my makeup, I bought like this Pure Minerals set with a bronzer, a powder, foundation, and then this blush. Like it came in a little kit, and that's what I use like every single day before going to school. I think I bought this actually specifically for one of those like throwback videos. So this is not really a product that I use, but I did used to use it quite a bit. So I'm gonna get rid of this one. I'm also going to get rid of this Bare Minerals Gen Nude blush in the shade Call My Blush. Not really for any particular reason other than I just don't use it. Again, you can see it's that like pinky mauve color that I'm clearly not a fan of. Oh my God, this one is such a fun color. This is the Sephora Hot Flush Blush. How fun is this? So fun. And you would think that this would be like the most unwearable blush in the world, but it actually isn't, especially if you do have a little bit more of a tan. Oh my God, it's absolutely stunning. Very unique, totally keeping it. This Burt's Bees blush in the shade Bare Peach. Another really beautiful blush. Hey, where's my Burt's Bees one in the shade Cinnamon Toast Crunch, Toasted Cinnamon, whatever it's called. I don't know where it is. It's somewhere in this drawer, but for some reason it's not like in the blush section. I do have that one though, and it is really pretty. I do really like the Burt's Bees blushes. I think that they're really nice. This one is probably my favorite color from the collection. The Toasted Cinnamon one is also really beautiful if you want more of like a nude blush. That one's very nice as well. I'm also going to be keeping these two Ciate blushes. I've got Baby Doll here and Date Night. These are just the type of blushes that are going to give your cheeks a little bit of a glow. These blushes both have like highlighters running through them, so they're the type of blushes that are going to give your cheeks a little bit of a glow, similar to like that Natasha Denona blush that I showed you guys before. They're really pretty, and again, I really like how small and compact they are. They're really good for travel. This Cargo blush in the shade Catalina. I'm actually going to get rid of this one. This is just not a blush that I really ever go to. Like I mentioned, I don't really like cool tone pink blushes. I just don't find them to be the most flattering for my skin tone. So I feel like this is not a blush that I need to keep. So I'm actually gonna give that one away. And the last blush that's in this little container, as you can see, it's completely empty, is Milani Luminosa. This is the original formula, so I am holding on very tightly to this thing because the original formula is way better than the new one. It's less sparkly, less chunky, and it's a gorgeous blush, so I'm gonna be keeping it. All right, let's put all of the blushes that I'm keeping back in here. This is the very satisfying part. Look how nice and organized this is, you guys. I'm so happy. This makes me feel good. So these are the products that I'm giving away to friends. These are the ones that I'm donating. And then we have the ones that are in the trash, including the moldy blush. Not too shabby. Pretty good. By the way, if there's like a specific blush that you see me use all the time and you're wondering why it's not in this video, it's probably because it's in my everyday vanity or it's just like scattered somewhere throughout this room. That's probably why you're not seeing it. So I just wanted to put that out there in case there's any products that you're like, but I thought you use that one all the time. It's just because it's not in this collection right over here. But I do hope that you guys enjoyed today's video and that you found it entertaining. Don't forget to let me know all of your thoughts down below. Let me know some blushes that you recently decluttered. I would really love to know. Definitely give this video a big thumbs up, of course, if you do enjoy declutters and want to see more, and subscribe if you are not subscribed already, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.